Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Subaru Solterra full electric vehicle in the touring trim level. This vehicle sitting on 235/50 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and back. The name of this color is Harbor Mist Gray. And this is the two-tone with the gloss black portions as well. Now this color is, the sun is shining, so hopefully you can see this. It looks like a gray until the sun reflects off of it and it has like a blue accent pearl effect. It's really interesting. Even at night, if you shine a light on it or something, you can see that blue shining through. Okay, so here in the front, this whole area right here blocked off. Since it's an electric vehicle, we have just nothing but airflow here in the front. And then right in here is where the cooling happens. It's right there at the very bottom. I don't know if you can tell, but it does have active grille shutters in there as well. So it closes that off when it doesn't need that additional cooling. Now it has parking sensors across the front. We had that gloss black accent. I'm not sure why they kind of did that. I guess the styling kind of looks like a frame to a grille, but there's no grille there. Kind of interesting. So the parking sensors are integrated here and into the body color portion. They kind of stand out a little bit. There's a camera that's integrated into the design of the vehicle here, but it's just off to one side for some reason. Not sure why they don't have it in the very center. Reflector fog lights, LEDs, and then a multi-projector LED system. Really good headlight system. I showed that in the night video. Basically the full night video shows the interior, exterior lighting of the vehicle and how the headlights perform as well. So you can check that out on my channel. Looking at the profile, you can see this black cladding. It's a matte black cladding that's around the wheel wells right here. Really large portions, even here at the base of the doors as well. Now the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, covering up the threshold area. Then we have gloss black pillars, and the roof and even the front pillar here is gloss black. A little bit of the hood as well. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key. Nothing really special. Typical Toyota key. Now it has a lock, unlock, the ability to open up the lift gate, power lift gate, turn on the climate control and the panic button as well. So as long as you have the key with you, the way this works is that it has little dimples right here, little indicator to lock the door, and then to unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle and it has the sensor back here. So it's pretty typical as far as proximity key systems. It does have the physical key location here on the driver's side only. Doors go all the way down, and there's even a seal under here as well, keeping the threshold fairly clean. You can see it's pollen season, so there's pollen getting in here. Pretty much gets everywhere. But it keeps it relatively clean. And the interior has a combination of this light gray, black, gloss black, and then the regular plastic here. So this is a soft touch surface here, and this is fairly soft on the surface and kind of rubbery soft here. This is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket and a handle. Then you have the larger pockets here at the bottom for bottles and stuff like that. It has a pretty good sound system. This one has the Harman Kardon sound system with the subwoofer in the back. Sounds pretty good. There's a threshold area. Power seat here on the passenger side. It does go up and down, forward and back, and tilt here. Now these seats they're calling StarTex simulated leather material. Very comfortable seats. They have heated and cooled areas here in the perforations. And so yeah, they're looking pretty good. They're comfortable, they look good. They kind of have a two-tone effect, two-tone color there. Lots of leg room here on the passenger side. There's a little compartment under here. It's easier to get on this side, I guess, because the steering wheel is not in the way. Then there's this little spot right here, so you can coil up cords. You can plug them in, coil them up here. You can also put your cell phone or whatever. Kind of goes in there a little ways. It's kind of limited on what you can use. It's not very deep, but it does have that additional little compartment there. There's also a 12-volt power supply in that area. So this is a hard touch surface, but there's no glove compartment right in here. It has a cloth material all here on the dash, all the way across. And you can kind of use this little area right here to put some stuff on top. You don't want to put too much stuff here because it interferes with the airbag, which is located right there. Has two, well, it has like one big glass roof, but it's divided for some reason. It's not a sunroof. It doesn't open up, but it does have a glass roof. I'll show you that soon. You see the opening on the door here on the front. Lots of room getting in and out. It's really no problem. The seat height off the ground is almost perfect as far as just hopping in and out. You don't have to climb in or anything like that. So that's all good. Now the swing of the door here on the back could come out a little bit more. You know, it seems like it's not quite swinging out far enough for me anyway. But the opening is good. You have a little bit of tapering there and here, but other than that, it's fine getting in and out of the back of the back seat. The size of the door is pretty good too. So it has similar styling as the front. Has the soft touch here, and then the hard touch here. Now we have less, you know, buttons and stuff, but there is the gloss black and all that. There's a threshold area. Basically a bench seat back here. And it has the latch system for car seats. You can see them, they're easy to get to here, the lower anchors. And then you have cup holders, armrests, nice and soft here. Place to prop up your phone or whatever. Lots of leg room. Check it out. It's almost completely flat back here. There's a pocket on both back front seats. This is all soft back here as well. USB charge ports, USB-C charge ports, and then heated seats back here. 3-stage heated seats for both sides. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, all this is gloss black. So the roof rails, little shark fin antenna, all that's gloss black. And then you have these little extensions right here, little rear spoilers that are at the top of the glass. Not there in the center though, just here on the sides for some reason, I guess for aerodynamics. The third brake light is here at the top of the glass. There's no rear wiper, nothing like that. And then there's this little tiny spoiler right here. You can see it kind of separates itself. Kind of interesting. Gives it a little bit of the directing the airflow, I guess, upward. The backup camera and the rear view camera are here for some reason offset in with the tag. Could be done a little bit better. Could be in the center, and it could be in a higher position, more integrated with the design of the vehicle. Parking sensors all back here. You have some of them in the black portion here, and then some of them are integrated in the body color. You have some gloss black here around the taillights. Now the taillights are LED, reverse lights, all the lights back here are LED. They look pretty good, nice and sharp. Once again, you can see my night video for that. Opening up the power lift gate, you can of course use the key, or you can push a button under here. It'll lift it up for you. It has the hard plastic here on the underside. Now it does have a shade, which you can retract, and you can also completely remove as well if you'd like. And this is the cargo space, which is actually pretty good. A lot of room back here. There's a subwoofer, and this trim has the subwoofer. You can also put like some bag holders here. You can put a net pocket if you want. There's a single light, which is disappointing. You can see that in the night video. It's not very good. But this one has this cargo mat. This lifts up. Then you have additional storage under here in this styrofoam area. This is where the charger is. This is the charger that it comes with. And it's basically just like a 110 charger. So some people might be able to use that. If you don't drive very much, you could use that. But I would recommend getting a level 2 for your house, definitely. So it goes from, you know, a week to charge the vehicle to basically, you know, 6-8 hours, something like that. So over here, there is a charge inflator kit. You see that? So it doesn't have a spare tire. So keep that in mind. If you're going off-road or on a long distance trip or something like that, it does not have a spare tire. It does have a place to put the shade under here as well. It extends from one side to the other. So you can take that shade out, this one up here, and put it under the floor to get it out of the way. So these seats fold down. It's a 60-40 split. So there's the split right there. And basically you have to walk around this way. And the release is right here. So you just lift up on that, drop it down. And you can see now I've added to the cargo space while still maintaining passenger space on the other side. So when that passenger side seat is in a normal position, you still have about 6 feet of room back here. Now that folded down seat is not completely flat, but it's close enough to where you could potentially, you know, put a mattress or something back here and sleep in here, especially if you pull those seats up a little bit more, give you a little bit more room to lay back here. But I thought that was a pretty good amount of space. So the height here in the center is about 30 inches or so, something like that, roughly. There in the center, depends on where you are in the center, but that low spot is 30 inches. You can see it goes higher this way. And the width here is about 39 inches across here in the center, and that's the narrow spot. That's the little hourglass area. There's 2 buttons back here to lower the power lift gate. One is to simply just lower it. The other one is to lower it and lock it. And it comes down nice and easy. The charge port is here on the driver's side. Really easy to get to. And it has, I love these little covers right here, these hard covers, instead of like a rubber thing or something, or a plastic thing, or just having no cover whatsoever. So basically, the top one, you can release that if you want to do the level 2. If you need to do DC fast charging, you just release that one and you have full access to the full charge port here. There is a little light under here as well at nighttime, and it seems to work pretty good. This light will illuminate when it starts charging. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, footrest. The floor mat hooks in place, keeping it straight for you. So let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the very center. So reach in, move it to the left, lift up. It does require a prop to hold it up. Here's the prop here, and it swings down to right there. There's some insulation under the hood, seals across the front, back, and sides. Helps with the airflow and noise. And there's the battery, 12-volt batteries, easy to get to. Now you notice there's no cargo area. A lot of EVs will have a little cargo area or a large cargo area depending on the vehicle. They just kind of skipped out on all that stuff. And you know, we do have things that are easily accessible up here. So that's the benefit of not having a cargo area. But, you know, if you need an additional cargo here in front, this vehicle doesn't have it. So since this is a Subaru, this one has the all-wheel drive system, the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. It has a 72.8 kilowatt-hour battery with 96 cells. It puts out 249 pound-feet of torque and 215 horsepower. The blind spot indicator is here on the side mirror. Now this one has the rear cross traffic alert and the front cross traffic alert system, and it'll alert you on the screen as well. So here's the inside of the driver's side door, just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Now it has the power window switches here, one touch up and down. Same thing with the back windows. They go all the way down as well. They go pretty fast. Door lock controls here. Side mirrors can be adjusted here. You could also power fold them manually. You like push the button, or you can have it in automatic, or you can turn that feature off this way. So it has those different options. 2 presets for the power seat. Now this one also has the child safety lock here in the door, right there. You can see it. So it's not controlled. Some vehicles have it controlled up here. This one has it on independent doors, so you can control a little bit better. So the driver's seat can go up, down, tilt, all that stuff. You also have a 2-way lumbar adjustment. These are heated and cooled seats. And so far, very comfortable. Been driving it, no problem. So the automatic high beams can be controlled here. You just turn it on and off as a little indicator light. You can open up the power lift gate here as well. It also has a tilt and telescoping steering column. Let me know what you think of this design, as far as aesthetic wise anyway. Before I put the shade up on the windshield here, I just want to point out something. This gauge cluster kind of pops up and takes over some of the windshield. Now I'm glad that they went with the squared off steering wheel on this particular one, because you can see that it's, from my vantage point, it's barely like out of the way. Now, if I raise the steering wheel, it's very limited on where I can put the steering wheel because of my visibility. Same thing with the Toyota Prius. They had that same design where it interferes, the steering wheel interferes with the gauge cluster, and the gauge cluster interferes with the windshield. You know, like literally blocks some of your visibility. And that makes a big difference between the ground here and there. We're talking, you know, probably 10 feet of additional area in which you could have seen if this wasn't blocking. Now, I think this could have been solved with a heads-up display, or if you don't want to do that, which I think would be better in this case, a more thin gauge cluster. See, this one has a large bezel around it, has a small screen, and the way the screen layout is poorly designed. I mean, it's okay, but since you're dealing with a screen that covers up a portion of the windshield, why not make it thinner and make it bar instead of a round gauge? You know, this is a non-traditional gauge cluster, so why does it have to look this way? You know, this could have been designed way better, in my opinion, to solve some of these issues. Now they did the squared off steering wheel. That helps out, but that's basically a patch for the overall poor design here. It's exactly the same as the Toyota Prius, and so yeah, it's basically, and I'm not sure why they designed it that way. So I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, have the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential leg room, and it is really good. There's lots of room here, and I pretty much have to pull the seat up a little bit, so even if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, shouldn't really have a problem. There's lots of leg room here. This open space works out good for my leg. This is a hard touch surface right there, but I hadn't had any problems with my leg touching it when I pull the seat up. So I think this will be a pretty good amount of room for most people. Steering wheel, nice and soft. I really like the steering wheel a lot as far as driving the vehicle. The flat bottom, the flat top, even though it's basically there just to give you improved visibility for the screen up here, it does work well, and I like the way it looks and everything. It feels good. It's nice and soft. It's not like a hard steering wheel. It gives and just really shaped nice and feels nice, and the surface and everything. Now it has these paddle shifters here on the back, and those are not shifters. They're actually regen control, so you can increase and decrease the regen on the vehicle. And so when you let go of the accelerator, the regen will slow down the vehicle, and you can control how much it slows the vehicle down and recharges the battery. It also has this button right here for the basically like an e-pedal, where when you release the accelerator, it's going to give you the maximum regen, but it will not make the vehicle come to a complete stop. It's not like a one-pedal drive type system. It's close, but not quite. So here on the steering wheel, here on the right side, is the cruise control. So you can, one button, press that, it engages the cruise control and sets it at the same time. Really nice. And then you have adjust the speed here. You can also adjust the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You can have regular non-adaptive cruise control. You can toggle that on or off, and then you can have the lane keep assist system. You can turn that on or off as well. But once you turn it on, the lane keep assist and all that stuff, all you have to do is press that one button, and it'll remember your settings and go right back to it. So that's this part up here. This bottom part right here goes along with this. So the volume for the radio, voice recognition, change to the audio tracks, and the mode. Mode will be your audio source. Now this volume button, typically vehicles, when you press in on it, it'll mute the radio. This doesn't have that feature. You have to press and hold the mode button in order to mute the radio. So not sure why they designed it, but that's the way it is. Now these OK and arrows right here correspond with the screen, We'll get to that in a second. Same thing with this button. This is the phone button, so you can answer and hang up. So you press the button. If somebody calls you, you press the button to answer, and then when you're finished, press the button again, the same button, to hang up. My preference is separate buttons, but that's the way they designed it. Now the windshield wiper controls are here. It does have an automatic function as well, rain sensing automatic. Turn signals here on the left side. It also has the headlight switch. It does have a DRL off, and even at nighttime you can turn off all the exterior lights and drive. Automatic parking headlights here, and then the fog lights are controlled here. And the automatic high beams, you can turn those on down here, on or off. Okay, so the gauge cluster, if the steering wheel won't be in the way. All right, let's go up here. So you would have to be super short. And even if you did look under the steering wheel, you wouldn't be able to see the road. So you have to position the steering wheel very far down in order to, you see there's the range of motion. So you really have to put it down, in my case, in order to see this gauge cluster. So having that squared off at the top is great. Okay, so you see it has a digital speedometer, and it has some additional information like your miles, which is essential, and then your battery percentage, digital clock, what gear you're in, and as you drive, it has this little dial right there that will show you how much power and how much regen you're using, and that also has the status of the adaptive cruise control, the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and whether it sees the lines or whether the lane keep assist system is active. Here on the left side, it has the odometer here, but it also has this screen. And when you press these buttons here, pages button, OK, and arrows. So I'm going to hit the pages buttons so you can see how it changes that. It makes that go away. And then the arrows, I'm going to go up and down, as you can see it's part of a menu system here. The first one is the fuel economy, that kind of stuff. This would be your adaptive cruise control. If you go to the right, it will be your navigation. Right now it's just showing a digital compass. Down will show whatever your radio is doing. The next one will be information about your vehicle. So right now it's tire pressure, all-wheel drive system, and then your trip. Now the all-wheel drive system, as you're driving, typically if you're just kind of cruising along, it'll be front wheel. The front wheels will mostly do most of the work, but if you accelerate, then shifts it more to the back. So it's really good as far as there's no torque steer or anything. It really handles the power well in the all-wheel drive system. Scrolling down again, we'll go into your settings. You have these different settings here. Some of this stuff, like the front cross traffic alert and stuff like that, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, some features are kind of annoying, so you might want to turn some of them off. And then any stored messages will show up here. So you can leave whatever you want up. So let's just go ahead and put the economy. I call it fuel economy out of habit, but it's just how much energy you're using. So right there, total average 3.2 kilowatt hours. So 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour is basically what it is. So how much kilowatt hours you have total, and then you can multiply that by how many miles you can drive. So that's how it's calculating it. And it's on the low side. It's not the most super efficient vehicle, but it's not that bad either, especially considering it's an all-wheel drive system. Alright, so there is the buttons for the dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and then reset the trip as well. Okay, so this is the screen, obviously, and it's basically a typical Toyota screen. So we have navigation here, and it's fairly responsive. Whatever your radio is doing will show up here. Different audio sources. It does have wireless auto, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Let's go to the radio. It doesn't have a volume knob. You have the volume right here. So let's go to, it does have AM, which is kind of surprising. Some vehicles, especially EVs, have a lot of interference with the AM system because of RF signals coming from the motors. So it does have the satellite radio, AM, FM, all that stuff. You can pair your phone here. And then this will be your vehicle information, trip information, charging schedule that you can set up. So if you want to charge at certain times, you can do that. Vehicle alert, any alerts there. Now if you want to go here to the settings, this is very important. So let's go down here. We have general settings, vehicle customize. This is the important part, charging. So you can set up the charging current and lower it. Now, my experience, I'll set it up, but then every time I restart the vehicle, I have to set it up again. So right now it's set to max. I didn't have it set to max. Max is 32 amps, basically, on if you have a level 2 system. Charging limit. So I had it set to 90%. Now it's full again. So every time I start the vehicle, it resets these. DC charge power max. So you can go in there and set it the way you want. And I've been getting slow charge rates for some reason, even set on max. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, there's other settings in there, but as far as there's not as customizable as say other brands as far as their EVs and stuff. All right, so there's the volume buttons there. Climate controls down here. It does have automatic, and once again, these are reset. So like I'll turn this off, so I don't want it to automatically turn on. So I have to cycle through and turn these off regularly. There's like nobody in the passenger seat, but yet it's got to automatically turn that on for some reason. So yeah, the fan speed, temperature for the driver and passenger, where you want the air to blow, type thing. Recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, all are controlled here. Heated seat, cooled seat, heated steering wheel, all these are controlled here. Four-way flashers, there's the power button. When you first turn it on, you just hold the brake, hit the button, turn it on. Pretty simple. All right, so this is the one pedal drive like feature that it has. Brake hold feature. Electronic parking brake will automatically turn on, but if you want to turn it on, you do have the switch there to control it or off. And then the drive mode. When you hit the drive mode button, it has basically regular, it shows you power or eco. And really, I'll show you when we drive, but it's not a huge difference. I mean, all these, even eco, it's still, you have a lot of power. It's not that much diminished. It's pretty good. And then this button right here is for the camera system. Now, if you just hit the button and you're sitting here, it's going to give you this like little look around the vehicle. Not very useful at all. But what's very useful is when you put it in gear. Right now I put it in drive. We have this top-down view right here. Very handy. And it has an automatic setting. You push this button, it'll automatically turn on this when you're going at very low speeds. Excellent feature to have. As you turn the steering wheel, it has these active guidelines here. It shows you approximately width of the vehicle as well. And so yeah, this is really good. You can turn that feature off if you want. When I put it in reverse, it gives us the back view. We still have the top down view, and then we have this really good back view. Once again, active guidelines as well. Now you notice it beeps when you're in reverse. It has a sound outside the vehicle, but it also has this annoying beeping as when you're putting it in reverse for some reason. So that's the way it is. So the shifter, there's drive, there's reverse, and there's park. So pretty straightforward dial, kind of rubberized dial, nice. So this is the park in feature. So basically, if you want the vehicle to help you park the vehicle, you can press that button and it'll step you through how to do it here on the screen. And basically you look for a parking spot, and it won't let me do it now because I have my seatbelt off, but it'll look for a parking spot left or right, and you can basically it'll let you use the accelerator and it'll turn the steering wheel and park the vehicle for you. And it's a little, it works okay. So this is the traction control. Default is on, but if you need to turn it off, you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you can turn it off here. Now the X mode, this is for off-road use only at slow speeds. So you press the button, it'll pop up here. You have deep snow and mud, or you have snow and dirt. So, and this could be loose gravel, that kind of thing, but deep snow and mud, where the tire could get, you know, like mud and snow around the tire, is a little bit different than just regular, the first setting. And you also have grip control, so you can adjust that here. This is for super duper low speeds, like I think it's like 6 miles per hour or something like that. You can set the speed here. Once you set the X mode, you can set the speed of the grip control and if you're just kind of crawling along on a very slippery or whatever surface, you can control it here. So that's what it kind of looks like, a little cruise control, because it kind of is. All right, so this is a gloss black right here, and it catches the sun a lot and it reflects in my eyes. This opens up and there is a wireless charger. There's also a USB port here. And we saw the USB ports down there as well, and the 12-volt power supply. But this one, this wireless charger, it's rubberized in here, and it's pretty handy. My particular phone, my experience with it is that I'll put my phone in there, it'll start charging, and then stop charging, and the whole time it'll not charge. I've tried different orientations. I took the case off. I tried to turn it this way. I tried to turn it that way. And, you know, it's like 9 times out of 10, when I get to my destination, it wasn't charging the whole time. So, you know, maybe your phone will be better than mine. And it kind of has like this little see-through little design here, looking pretty good. And also you could just take your phone and put it like that if you don't want to charge it. It's kind of neat, this little surface right here, little ledge. All right, there's some cup holders here. These are little spring arms, little storage space here as well. I don't know if you can see that. This moves forward and back, this armrest, and it's pretty soft. And also there's a latch under here, not here, but here, and it lifts up and kind of stays up for you. It doesn't slap back down on you. It goes up to that way, to that position there. And then there is a storage compartment. I have my business cards in there, but it does have a felt lining here at the bottom. It's black. You can take it out if you want to, clean it, put it back in. I would replace this with a white one or a lighter colored one so you can see in there a little bit better. Now this also has this is basically a tray that can come out. And then under that, you have this deeper area. So, see the manuals and stuff in there. So you have this deeper area. And there's absolutely no light in here. So they didn't put a light in here at all. I'll show that in the night video. But yeah, it's pretty handy. It kind of makes up a little bit for the lack of glove compartment, I guess. And that area there in the bottom. The rearview mirror, it's an auto dim rearview mirror. It's also a rearview camera, which is excellent. Works really good, day or night. You can see right behind the vehicle. And even though they position the camera in a weird spot, it still works fine. Home link garage door opener controls are here on the left side. Here on the right side is the controls for this mirror. So you can adjust the brightness, zoom in and out, tilt, up and down, all that kind of stuff. All right. And then up here is the interior lights. You have the tap lights there, all the interior lights. Have them on, turn on with the door or not. Have them on with the door. And then this is for basically the sunroof. There's the roadside assistance button. But this is for the glass roof, basically. That button is to open the shade only. We'll get to that in a second. Here's the visor, and it has this really cool spot to put your driver's license in here, or a registration or something in this little spot. That genius gets it out of the way, and it utilizes space that's normally not used. When you open this up, a light turns on. And the visor is a cloth black, or a black cloth. Same thing with the headliner. It's pretty soft and has this little extension right here. Has the extension instead of pulling it out, so it doesn't slide out. It has the extension adding to your coverage, which I like better. So okay, so let's push this button. It opens up the shade. And you notice as this divider, the glass goes all the way across. Like you can feel the glass here. but it has this divider for some reason. Not sure why they want to block off a portion of the glass roof. Kind of odd, but it's all one glass and it's one shade. But for some reason, I wonder if you can, like, I don't know why that piece has to be there. Maybe there's some kind of structural integrity or something. I'm not really sure why they did that. It would have been just a nicer wide open sunroof without that divider. But yeah, all this button does is just open and close the shade. And the shade covers 100% of the light. So looking at the visibility in the back, you can see those pillars in the back are quite wide. It has a little tiny window there, but I mean, it's a little bit of an issue if it didn't have such a great camera system, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, and all that stuff as well. So it has these wide pillars. It's not a huge deal. I mean, you can get used to them, but it's worth pointing out. Let's accelerate in eco mode. And that's not bad. For eco mode, that feels pretty good. Accelerate in normal mode. Once again, not bad. Slightly better. Not really a huge difference. Now we're in power mode. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell the difference there between the normal and the power when you fully push the accelerator down. So eco to normal is, I can kind of tell a little bit of a difference, especially at first.
Sorry, currently I do not support this feature for Subaru vehicles.
I don't know what that's talking about, but yeah, it's the drive mode. The difference in the drive mode is not a huge difference as far as just straight line acceleration. The responsiveness is there when you put it in, power mode versus eco mode, it's just the subtle responsiveness. But normal is a good all-around mode. You still have that acceleration when you need it. You just hit the accelerator, and it feels pretty good as far as when you pet the accelerator, you can feel the difference there. Two of the main takeaways that first hit me when I started driving the vehicle was how smooth and quiet it was. It is it doesn't feel overly heavy. So it is a fairly heavy vehicle because of the battery and all that, but it's the battery's in the lower part of the vehicle. So it feels pretty good. But the just overall comfort, seat comfort, the steering wheel feels comfortable. The sound is okay as far as there's not any loud noises or anything like that. And so it's nice. It's a nice riding vehicle. There's a few gripes that I have, of course. The way the screen there jets up into the windshield kind of makes you kind of feel a little bit like it's blocking some of your view that you could have had. That could have been solved with a heads-up display or more of a lower screen or something like that. The way the design of the numbers and all that stuff, I think it could have been designed better. Love the camera system, and I got it set to where every time, a lot of beeping on this vehicle, but I have it set up to where every time I go slow, it will turn the camera on. Really helps out with parking and just maneuvering at slow speeds in parking lots, that kind of stuff. So it is a Toyota thing. I mean, this vehicle is basically a Toyota, so there's a lot of overlap with Toyota. And so I do like that. That's something that Toyota and Lexus has had for a while, that 360 camera system, and the fact that it has the automatic function to where when you drive slow, it automatically turns on. And you can turn that feature on or off. So if you don't like it, you can always turn that off, of course. But having that option is really nice. Even in the normal drive mode, the acceleration is nice. There's no transmission gear shifts. There's no waiting for the engine to respond. It just accelerates, It's a nice, smooth acceleration. and it's not like going to break your neck or anything when you're in normal mode, but it gives you a satisfying acceleration, and so that's really good, and that's common with a lot of electric vehicles, and that's that's part of the reason why a lot of people like them. Is just it becomes a little bit annoying when you're driving a gas vehicle after driving an electric vehicle. It's like all of a sudden you hit the accelerator, and the engine's got to think about what gear to go in, and it's got to accelerate the RPMs to get that to that RPM range that it needs to get, and then you'll feel a little bit the acceleration, and then it's a lot of times like unsatisfying because it's not a very powerful vehicle anyway. So having the electric acceleration is nice. It's just a nice to have thing. It's not really like necessity. It's just nice. It's like a smooth ride. The turning radius is really nice. You can spin this right around in parking lots or wherever, doing a U-turn. And since this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, it does a pretty good job of not having any torque steer whatsoever in the front. It feels like it's being pushed from the back, which is nice. The front-wheel drive electric vehicle sometimes gives you a little bit of torque steer. This one, solid, straight line acceleration. Not super fast, but plenty satisfying for the average person, I would say. Now we turn on the cruise control, and I'm just going to cover up that camera here in the center, and tells me that it can't see my face, so I have to sit up. It's telling me, it tells me what to do, right? So now it's going to annoy me until it gets what it wants. And it's one of those things that you can't really blame the manufacturer too much, because it is mandated now for new vehicles to have technology to watch the driver and make a determination whether they're worthy to drive or not, like whether they're drunk or not or something like that. So this type of system, if it malfunctions, maybe you can't drive to work today. It's one of those things that I'm not a big fan of, but a lot of vehicles have a camera that looks at the driver's face. And, there's times in which maybe my glasses aren't on right, or if I'm not, my head is kind of tilted or whatever, it thinks I'm not looking at the road, and it'll start beeping at you too at that point as well. So, if your eyes aren't perfectly on the road and your head isn't where it wants it to be and all that stuff, or it says, like in that case, sit up, like if you're kind of slouched or whatever, and it can't see your face good enough for it to determine your face, then it's going to start beeping at you. So something to consider with new vehicles. So far, the estimated range has been fine. It's been giving me a realistic number, as far as me driving to 0, and this vehicle gets 225 miles to a full charge, and of course don't want to charge it all the way to 100. You want to charge it to 80 or 90 for the health of the battery, so that brings it down quite a bit. And then of course you don't want to drive it all the way to 0, so it has a very usable range, but it's not, if you need a extremely long range vehicle, then this is not it. This is more like a normal vehicle. So if you're like, leaving your house and driving a lot every day, like you're going to the gas station, and then you're going to gas station again, that kind of, if you're staying in hotels, you're doing long distance travel, or you drive for a rideshare company or something like that, then probably not the best vehicle for you. But if you're just doing daily commutes, maybe run to the store or something like that, maybe you got a little extra, trip that you have to make, 150 miles a day, really no problem with this vehicle. And even if it gets cold, it's still going, it is going to reduce your range for sure, but it's manageable, I would say, for the vast majority of people out there. Being able to adjust the regen braking on the paddle shifters, it's very convenient, so you don't have to like go into the screen or anything like that. Being able to adjust it. You also have a button over here for the one pedal drive system. So you know, that's handy. Me personally, because I live on flat roads, I mean, it depends on where you're driving, of course. Me personally, I leave it on the lower end, and in that way, when I let go of the accelerator, it slows it down a little bit, similar to like a gas car. You know, that way I'm more familiar with that. Because I'll drive on these type of you know, roads, back roads, highways, that kind of stuff. I don't want it to basically feel like it's slamming on the brakes when I release the pedal. If I was driving around in the city all the time, then I might want to have a like a one pedal drive type system. But the places I drive in a flat ground, it's not a big deal as far as regen braking or anything. If I was going down hills or something like that, that would really help out. I have it fully charged to 100%, and I don't have the climate control on. I have an eco mode, and it's giving me an estimated mileage of 209 miles. So this is one of those type of vehicles that charges slow, and it also doesn't have that many miles. So as far as taking long trips and stuff, this particular EV, probably not the best. It's very good for a commuter car though. But as far as long distance travel, using a DC fast charger regularly and driving over, you know, 180 miles a day, or 160 really, then it probably wouldn't be for you. But as far as just a normal commuting car, 150 miles a day should be fine. But just keep that in mind that, you know, not all EVs are the same, so their range varies wildly. Their charging speed varies quite a bit. So this is one of those slow to charge and lower range type EVs. The camera system really helps out with pulling up to the public charger. But you notice when you get close to things, you see these yellow blocks, and you see them right here as well. It lets you know right where the object is that it's detecting using the parking sensors, basically. And if you get a little bit too close, it starts beeping at you, and the closer you get, the more it beeps. When you plug in the vehicle, it'll give you the option for My Room mode, and this will give you the ability to use the climate control and all that stuff off of the plug-in part, not the battery. So it kind of gives you that ability to, you know, stay in the vehicle and, I guess, use the vehicle as a room and have climate control and all that stuff. So I'm at a fast charger right now, and it's showing time to full charge, 45 minutes to 80%. And one of the things about this vehicle is it just doesn't want to show information. It doesn't automatically pop up information, and when it does, it's very short-lived and it goes away. So here I am opening the door trying to get it to pop up again. So has the climate control on, climate control off, showing the mileage that the vehicle has right now, battery percentage. So now it wants to make that go away, let me know the door is open. But if I shut the door, then it goes away too. So open the door so we can see it. But then once again, you know, like it's just a pain trying to keep the information so I can show it to you up on any screen. I just want to look at it on any screen here. So this is the screen over here, and so we're actually charging at 58 kilowatts. 58 kilowatts is what it looks like, and it's kind of slow, you know, not very fast. This charger is able to go up to like 150, I think. So 58 is not all that great. I've been to these chargers with other brand vehicles, and it charges, you know, 130, 140, no problem. So, and it's not cold or anything. It's like 70 degrees. So, not sure what's going on with this. I don't know if it's the charger or the vehicle.